Hello, folks. Welcome to Holding On with Holder. On this show, I interview interesting people to discuss interesting topics. My name is Steve Holder, and I am your host. With me today, I have Billy Ukwu Jr., a politician and founder of an organization called End the Two-Party System. We will be talking about his background, his politics, and his thoughts on current events. Welcome, Billy. Thanks for being on my show.
How you doing?
I am doing just fine, doing just fine. So it's snowing in Virginia where you are, correct?
Absolutely. It just started snowing a few hours ago. It's
Okay,
pretty crazy weather out here.
okay. So tell us about you, Billy. Give us a quick background on you. Who are you?
All right. Well, I've been working in restaurants for about 5 years. I started off as a shift manager, and I've been assistant general manager for about 3.5 years or so.
Okay,
And then from there, actually, me getting into the organization that I'm into, it started off in 2016 with the election between Hillary and Donald Trump. Um, I actually created a YouTube group called End the Two-Party System, and I met up with a guy named Jeff for Justice, and then we created a group called No More Two-Party System with a bunch of other YouTubers. From there, I learned a lot about politics and nonprofit organizations, political movements, stuff like that. And then that kind of inspired me to create End the Two-Party System, the organization that we have today.
okay. Now, do you have a spouse and kids?
I have a girlfriend, and I do have one son.
Okay, okay. How old is your son?
My son's a year and a half.
Okay, just a small one then.
Yeah, my first one. Pretty
Okay.
excited about it.
So do you like being a father?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. Especially it just makes me feel like, I'm bringing another, an extension to my legacy, if you will.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So what convinced you to get into politics?
To be honest with you, I've paid attention to politics pretty much my whole life. I originally was a Democrat. And like I told you in the story before, really just frustrated with the system and, two similar candidates, two parties that do similar things. I just started doing more research, and I found out originally about the Libertarian Party. I'm actually green though. So one of my closest friends told me about Ron Paul, and that was how I found out the Libertarians.
I remember Ron Paul. I voted for him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I like her.
I'm not impressed with his son, but I like Ron Paul.
No, his son is something else, I'll tell you.
So are you conservative, liberal, somewhere in between, or what?
I'm actually green, so I'm a socialist.
Okay. Tell me more about the Green Party then. I don't know a lot about it. So tell us about that.
Okay, so the Green Party is an eco-socialist party. So essentially, they care more about social reforms, things like Medicare for all, the Green New Deal, so environmental, social reforms, stuff like that. Just kind of similar to Bernie Sanders' ideology, if you will.
Okay. I voted for Bernie.
Oh yeah, me too. I was really upset. That's what started this whole thing.
Yeah. I think twice now the Democratic Party screwed over Bernie.
Definitely.
No doubt about it.
No doubt
So
about it.
why do you think we need to do away with the two-party system?
Well, because both the parties we can see that are pretty much corporate owned, and if you look at the money trail, they're pretty similar. Some of them even tied to the same companies or corporations. Einstein's definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So I think it would be the right time for us to try different parties. Maybe parties that are free from corporate control. I just feel like competition breeds excellence. So
Yeah. Well, I ran for U.S. Congress last year as an independent, and Tennessee is as red state as you can get.
oh yeah.
The millionaire lady won. She was a Republican, and we all knew she was going to get it. No doubt there. So
Oh,
you voted for Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, I voted for Bernie Sanders twice.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Uh, do you think Joe Biden's doing a good job so far?
I mean, he has a few things that he's done that are okay, I guess, but I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah, yeah. But better than the last one we had. Much better.
Oh, for sure.
Which
Donald
isn't
Trump's
saying a whole
administration,
lot.
absolutely chaotic.
So what do you think about the second Trump impeachment that's going on right now?
I think it's just political theater, pretty much just to distract people. I mean, I guess the reason would be to so that he couldn't run again, I suppose. But other than that, I mean, I don't see the use of it.
Okay. So you don't think he should go to prison?
Yeah, but I mean, if we wanted to go into that, I think we would have some other people on there too as well. Some other previous presidents, you know, for war crimes, you know, stuff like that. If we wanted to get down to, but yeah, I think
he's the only one that I'm aware of that incited an insurrection.
Oh, definitely,
That's
definitely.
kind of a big deal, you know?
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, absolutely. I do think he should go to jail.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the impeachment, that's not going to give him a prison sentence, is it?
Well, it can open the door. It can open the door. And I understand I think the Attorney General of Georgia is going to be doing some investigating about the call he made to, I believe it was their governor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, telling him to change the votes or something like that.
Yeah, find them.
Yeah. So you know what? Yeah, definitely you should go to jail. Definitely you should go to jail.
So what kind of childhood did you have, Billy?
Child?
What kind of childhood did you have?
Oh, childhood. Okay, so I grew up in, I moved a lot, but I grew up in the Maryland DMV area. So mainly like Silver Spring and Baltimore, you know, is where I grew up most of my life. It was pretty good, middle class family, you know, pretty good schooling. I lived with my father my whole life, you know, but my mom was still in my life too as well. Yeah, it was pretty good childhood.
And how would you say your childhood affects your life now?
Absolutely. My entire life is pretty much, I am where I am because of my childhood, because of the way I was raised, the experiences that I've had, the lessons that were learned.
And what would you say has been your biggest challenge so far?
Biggest challenge so far? Probably what I'm doing right now, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest project I've undertaken.
Now, I believe you told me previously that you're getting ready to run for some office also?
Correct. In 2022, I'm trying to run for Herndon Town Council here in Reston, Virginia.
Okay. Do you have a lot of competition on that?
There's not a lot of competition. There's a few guys, but I really don't see them as a direct threat. You know, I'm planning really to campaign more because here actually in Northern Virginia, we have one of the highest homeless populations in the whole East Coast. So I really want to run on on trying to fix that in Fairfax County.
Do you think you have a legitimate chance?
I think so, if we can be able to raise enough money.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Have you already started raising funds?
I have not. I haven't even announced yet, but I'm definitely working on that. I've been contacting a few connections that I have throughout the state, you know, or in my area, so that we can figure out how we're going to exactly do this.
Okay. Okay. So what do you think of the present state of the world?
I think the world is heading towards trouble, to be honest with you. Just the way that things are going, you know, not just in the United States, but just around the world, a lot of authoritarian type things. Yeah. And then with the advent of social media, I think there's going to be a lot more like revolutions.
Yeah.
Because social
A lot
media
of
is
people have been talking about revolution and a civil war for quite a while now.
Yeah. I don't know if I would go as far as a civil war here in the United States, at least not yet, but it definitely is heading towards some type of violent, you know, problems.
And how do you think the sides will be chosen? Will it be a race thing? Will it be class or party? What will it be?
I think probably a political thing. It might have some racial undertones in there too as well, but I think primarily it'll be a political thing.
So do you think things are going to get better anytime soon?
It's possible, you know, I don't know, but just the current rate of the way that things are going, I don't see it getting a lot better, like immediately.
Can we talk about racism?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think we're making progress in the United States, or are things as bad as they was a decade ago?
I think there's progress. I think
Okay.
there's progress. There's people are, for one, actually talking about the issues, which is extremely important, openly talking about them. I can notice a difference in relations and race relations in the past 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in my area here in DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Oh yeah, like especially DC. DC actually used to be super segregated back, you know, even just 10 years ago. Now most neighborhoods, because of, I guess, gentrification, it's been kind of like mixed.
Yeah, that gentrification thing, it's crazy.
It's crazy,
It's
yeah. You know,
crazy.
it's putting a lot of people out. I mean, sure, it's raising property value, but I mean, at what cost?
Yeah. Like everything else, it helps the billionaires of the world, but that's
Of
about it. Yeah.
everything does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So what do you think about white supremacy and white privilege? What are your thoughts on that?
Oof. So I believe that white supremacy is a problem in the United States that's been ignored for an extremely long time by not only the federal government, by state and local municipalities. I think that uh, white privilege is a thing, but I feel like some people, I don't want to say exaggerate it. It's mainly just in the eyes of whoever, in the person that must have power, I think, that is making these discriminative actions, if you know what I mean. Like maybe if somebody was white and looking for a job, I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I think that it's a thing.
Okay. Is systemic racism a real thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it is a thing, especially within our judicial system.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if you look at the incarceration rates between Blacks and Latinos compared to Caucasians, it's astounding.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So why is it important for us to acknowledge and commemorate Black History Month?
Well, because I think it's really important for African Americans to understand their roots so that they can have more pride in themselves. I believe when people are more prideful within themselves, they can accomplish more. You know, there's nothing holding them back. So I think that's really important. But I think it's also important to tell not just African American history, but African history, so that the Africans can, or Blacks can understand that, you know, that there was more to their history, because they don't teach enough in the schools, to be honest. There's a lot of repetitive stories that we hear throughout our childhood.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, you know, same circle, just keeps going.
Yeah. Black Wall Street, they certainly didn't teach
Yeah.
about that in school.
Yeah.
That was a horrible, horrible thing that happened there.
Oh yeah. I mean, have you heard about King Leopold in Belgium?
No, I don't think so.
They killed millions of Congolese people.
Really?
Millions. Yeah, actually, look, you should look it up. There's so many stories. Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso. The list goes on. You know, that weren't taught to us in school. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, is there a good book that you would recommend for people who wanted to learn real Black history in America?
To be honest with you, I don't think I know of any books that teach that. I've just watched a lot of videos and yeah,
Okay.
it's articles, stuff like that.
So, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Well, 5 years from now, hopefully I'll be a councilman and maybe on my way to try to campaign for mayor.
Okay. You think you might want to move on up to try to be president someday?
Oh, absolutely. If I could be president, that would be the main goal. Not only that, I would also hopefully, and the two-party system would be a national brand. We would and be able to fund many initiatives, candidates, and the entire country would be a lot more knowledgeable about third parties and the barriers against them.
Yeah.
That would be a great outcome.
Yeah. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party both are big bullies.
Big
And
time.
they don't want to allow anybody else to have anything to say. You know, they
Exactly.
want all the power, and they have the power. They have the power. And as good as Bernie Sanders did both of the times he ran, they cheated him out of it.
Yeah.
And I knew they would. I knew they would. And I think he probably knew it too.
He did, especially the second time.
Yeah, yeah. It was amazing how Biden just became real popular all of a sudden, and
Out of
everybody
nowhere.
drops out and endorses him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was orchestrated, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. No doubt.
And it just goes to show you how ugly, politics can get,
Yeah. Oh, I know all about that. I learned that real well last
firsthand. Yeah.
So tell us more about your In the Two-Party System. And I believe your website is inthetwopartysystem.com.
.org.
.org, okay.
.org.
Tell us
Yeah.
more about that.
Yep. So pretty much we are establishing ourselves actually as a 501c4 nonprofit organization. Primarily our goals are going to be educating, mass third-party education against, the parties and the barriers against them, not just in federal elections, but state and local elections. So we would like to eventually have branches in each state if possible. And then secondarily, because 501c4 would give us the power to lobby, to fundraise and to fund like initiatives like ranked choice voting, campaign finance reform, things as such that would, make things easier for third parties.
So can you explain how this ranked choice voting works? Not too many people are familiar with that.
Okay, so ranked choice voting essentially allows you to choose multiple choices for your on the ballot. So you can have, if you liked two people, or if you like two people but you weren't exactly sure, maybe you liked somebody slightly better, you could rank one as 1 and then 1 as 2, and then I think basically I'm not 100% sure of how they come to the conclusion of how exactly it works 100%, but basically it's just more fair so that it's not winner takes all.
Yeah.
It's more shared votes.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest with you, ranked choice voting isn't the best one that we have. I believe I think it's star choice voting is the best option, where it allows you to, it's like a scale it's like 5-star type thing, like where each candidate, you just rank them on the stars, like a scale to 1 to 5.
Well, that would be a form of ranked choice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's similar to ranked choice, but it's just a little, I don't know. It shows what you like a little better, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So what else would you like us to know about you and what you're doing and what your future plans are?
Well, I would just like everyone to know that we're continuously growing at End the Two-Party System. We're always listening to members. Think if you guys have any initiatives you guys want us to fund, we'll absolutely listen to that. You can check us out at www.endthetwopartysystem.org. We always have people online that can answer questions for you or respond to any inquiries you may have. You can check us out on Facebook too as well, the group End the Two-Party System. That's actually where the entire movement started and where we've started fundraising. We've actually reached our goals at this point. So we're now just forming a board of directors so we can actually get things on the ground.
Okay.
And as for me, just check, like I said, if you live in Virginia, you can just pay attention for me, maybe in Fairfax County, Billy Ukwu, and I'll be running in the ballot soon.
I'm surprised I said your name right.
You did, and I was like, oh, awesome, because we didn't talk about this before.
That probably doesn't happen too often, does it?
Teachers have butchered my name, I'll tell you that.
I can understand. I can understand.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, I appreciate you coming on. It has been nice talking to you, and I will upload this to YouTube and put it on some Facebook pages and Twitter, and send you the link and a way to download it to do what you want with it. And,
all right. Well, thank you. It's been great being on here. I loved it.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you have a wonderful evening.
You as well. Thank you.